thank you for finding your way to our website and for dropping by, and also for your initial interest in the Schools Partnership programme. I'm Maggie Farrar and I'm one of the associates working on this peer review programme, and I'm really pleased to have this chance to introduce you to it, and hope that as a result you'll do a bit more exploration of the site and you will want to work with us. So currently we're working with over 1,700 schools on this partnership-based model of peer review. And whatever sort of partnership you're in, whether it's a MAT, an informal cluster of schools, a teaching school hub, then we believe this model has got something to offer you. And over the years that we've been working on it, one of the things that has struck me over and over again is the real consistency regarding why people, school leaders, people like you, MAT chief executives want to be part of this model. And it's that as a partnership, they really want to be in the driving seat in relation to school improvement, not just of their own school, but of schools within the partnership. And we know that the peer review process allows schools to very tangibly build this sense of agency and ownership over what needs to improve in their schools and how, supported by other schools in the partnership. The schools who are working with us really want to make a reality of collaborative school improvement and the leadership of collaborative school improvement within and between the schools in their partnership. So if you're interested in finding out who's involved, maybe who's involved in your region or your locality, then do take a look at the page on our site, your area and our stories, and you'll find more. And if you want to be put in touch with anyone who's already engaged in the model, we will be more than happy to do that. We also know, and one of the things that we've learned, as well as what drives us and motivates us to engage in peer review, is that how we conduct peer review is really important to its long-term success, its impact and its sustainability. And that's why the SPP model is based on a set of core principles that are really hardwired into it. They're part of its DNA. And the first thing is, this is not inspection by peers. It's very, very different from an inspection model. It is rigorous and it is based on impact, and it does lead to impact, but it's non-judgmental, it's inquiry-based, it's based around good questions, and it's evidence-based. It's underpinned by a coaching methodology, which is where the asking of really powerful questions comes from. It's for all staff, not just senior staff. So over time, the review and the scrutiny of each other's practice can become part of the DNA of schools, involving middle leaders, teachers, and even in some instances, the children and the young people themselves. And crucially, and schools use this phrase, this model of peer review is about improving, not proving. So it really helps to build a culture of trust, of openness, and of transparency. Now, there's more about the core principles, if you want to look at them in a bit more detail, on the What We Do section of this site. So do take another look if you want to look at these principles in more depth. So what happens in a peer review and how does it work? Well, the training and the support that we offer to all the participating partnerships really helps you to create the conditions in your school and in your partnership in which the evidence-based inquiry framework that underpins the peer review model can be successfully embedded in your practice, and importantly, embody these core principles. So if you want to see the model in more detail, please have a look at the Our Programme page on this site, and that will give you much more of a detailed overview of the programme itself and how it works and what happens. Finally, I think what I'd want to say is we always say that peer review exists to help schools to address the most challenging issues that they are facing. And of course, we are living through now the most challenging time that any of us as educationalists have ever faced. And Something important has happened over the last few months and during this pandemic. Time and time again with the schools that we work with and who work in really effective partnerships and who practice peer review have talked about the power of the very strong relationships that they've built. And the way in which they've worked together as a result of peer review has really helped them to tolerate much greater levels of disruption than they may have been able to do previously. And this is important for us because it really speaks to us about a quote from Michael Fullan that has really helped us to develop the programme. He worked with us in the early days, and he used a phrase which has echoed throughout all of the years we've been developing this work, which is, isolation is the enemy of improvement. And of course, we know that when we work in really effective partnerships, but we've also found that isolation can also be the enemy of our physical and mental well-being and our ability to withstand shock and disruption. So effective partnerships are not only really important now, they're going to continue to be really important in the future. And during this time, we have found that peer review is both doable and useful. We've developed, for those schools we work with, we've developed and piloted a virtual and a blended model of peer review, focusing particularly on COVID and how we are working within this COVID pandemic period, and also on curriculum recovery. And all our training and development has been adapted to be to work effectively in an online environment. So do take a look at our site, have a look around, see what interests you. Do please consider joining us and working with us to continue our journey to understand the power and the potential of peer review. So thank you for listening and do get in touch with us if you've got any further questions. I would like to know more about joining this programme and the many other leaders around the country who are engaged in it. Thank you.